Welcome friends, today we start a new series called Get Ratio! In my last video I gave Pick a fictive ratio based on how much fun I had and how much money I spent on it. Like, the ratio is crazy. It is 0.5 fun per 1 money. Like any respectable gamer, I got a library full of games, but I play the same 3 games every day. So the idea is to start giving ratios in alphabetical order to my entire library. On today's episode we got Abiotic Factor. Stick to the end if you want a chance to win a free copy of the game. Abiotic Factor is a gem waiting to be discovered and played. It is not underrated as many say. It is just not as popular as it should be. When I say this, what I mean is I expected it to be nominated at the Game of the Year awards in at least one category, because otherwise the game isn't going unnoticed by the public. The developers from Deepfield combined the SCP Foundation and Black Mesa, gave a bag of mushrooms to the art directors and writers, snorted a bag of
Coca-Cola.
Sometimes in 2022, and in 2024 they released early access. While Ubi Flaccid and Microslop would have said this is 1.0 and then sell us the updates as DLC, Deepfield kept giving us new updates with new content every few months. And in July 2025 the game was fully released with a complete story and running on all platforms. Okay, but what is Abiotic Factor? A survival co-op game. You get trapped inside of Gate Research Facility. Monsters try to kill you, and the guys that were supposed to protect you now they got ice, cold, and they try to kill you in your cars, the street. Being a scientist, you're full of ideas, so you'll come up with different ways to use whatever resources you got to survive. And that's how the gameplay loop is born.
I do coke, so I can work longer, so I can earn more, so I can do more coke.
The gameplay loop is basically you get to new areas, you find new resources, you get new ideas, you craft new items to help you get to new areas, to get new resources, to make new items. No, I fucking lied, The game is all about the soups and how good they are. Fuck it, time for cooking lessons. Hi, today we're making pasta in tomato sauce with bacon. And for that, of course, you need tomato sauce, onion, garlic, bacon, pasta, a pan, a pot, cheap wine, a drill bit, glue, an ace of spades, and some duct tape. Now that I got you on game, let's get back to the game. The controls are easy to understand, the movement is snappy, and the combat system pretty complex. When jumping isn't enough, you'll get jump packs and later jetpacks. When the desk lag isn't enough to kill the monsters, you get yourself a futuristic crowbar.
Why does everyone want the crowbar?
Because it's a fucking crowbar. Are you fucking serious?
What are you gonna do with it?
Fucking nothing.
If the enemy doesn't go down after you shoot him with a grinder disc, you disintegrate him with a deatomizer. If you break your legs because the fall damage in this game is fucking bullshit, you get yourself some bionic legs, or you make armor out of your enemy's remains. There is also a skill-based leveling system, fitness, combat and survival, each with their own subclasses. Every few levels you unlock a new perk. You like bonk weapons and you get blunt experience. You like to dismember your enemies, you get experience in sharp. Do you have the survival instinct of a blind deer on the highway? Congratulations, at level 20 Fortitude you can turn into Garen. Demacia! Or maybe you want to carry more loot. Here, carry this 8 water coolers.
I can feel my spine strengthening.
Remember when I said this is co-op? On normal difficulty, experience takes time, so it will be really useful if each player specializes into something. One may be the cook, Gamash, one can be the cook, one can be the farmer, and one can be the fisherman. Let's see, gameplay loop, controls, mechanics. Ah yes, pacing. Before we get into it, let me tell you a short story. Back in early access, Antonio, Boss, and Screeful started playing this game. Later, I asked about it and I started playing myself. They were pretty far ahead, so I decided to do a solo run on easy difficulty to catch up. They got to Hydroplant. Later, I also got to Hydroplant and we all stopped playing. I started a new playthrough a few months later because the game was out of early access. I got Blueberry, Creepers, Oculus, and Scotty, and we started playing. Scotty was there for one day, Creepers got on less and less, and I got to Hydroplant with Blueberry and Oculus, and then we stopped playing. So, pacing. I know there is something stinky there, but I cannot put my finger on it. Are the enemies too hard to beat?
Congratulations, you are being rescued.
No. Is the lack of a live map maybe making traveling too complicated? No, I don't think so. Too much exposition? No. Maybe it's the resource gathering. That might be it. Imagine coming to base with a backpack full of stuff, just to realize you cannot make the cool night vision goggles, because you don't have a lens. You want to trade with the blacksmith for one, but you cannot because you need steel cable to make reinforced hose. So you go out again to search for cable, you forget to fill up your soup bowls and now you're hungry. You find an MRE, but you end up shitting yourself and now your stealth is ruined. And now you're dead.
They took my urethra! I can't piss.
Nah, that's also not the reason. Everything I said sounds more like a cool adventure. Is Hatsune Miku annoying? Sometimes, but she's adorable. I think that pacing is affected by all of these factors and more. That tire the player out. I do coke so that I can do more coke gets old when you start getting nosebleeds. This would be the only gripe I have with the game. Asman, what about the story? The story is there. It has world building, great characters, and amazing voice acting.
Janet!
What, Abe?
Do you ever wonder?
But it feels like it is there only for those that look for it. The story gets ignored whenever you play co-op. I know I said the game can get tedious, but change the settings to where death has no consequences. You level up 3 times faster and resources respawn everywhere. And play solo. The game will shine in a completely different way when alone. When night comes, everything gets spooky, yet beautiful. When alone, conversations you have with the NPC will feel more personal and easier to pay attention to. You got time to read the emails you find on those computers. When alone, exploration becomes the main focus of the game, and Deepfield made sure to make it rewarding. When you get inside the first portal world and the environmental sounds make your chest vibrate, you will realize why I'm saying this game deserved a nomination. Okay, I don't have the brain cells to keep this analysis to this quality level, so let's give this game a ratio. So I came up with the formula. The game gets a fun score from 0 to 100, and that gets divided by the price of the game. Of course, this can only be applied to paid games. But how do you get a fun score? Well, It's simple. We come up with 5 pillars that we will rate from 0 to 20. The first pillar, gameplay. It was engaging and rewarding, but tedious at times. We'll give it 15 points. Story. While interesting, players can go through a whole playthrough only knowing Janet and Abe. Oh, Janet. And having no idea that Kyle Hill, the guy that made you fall in love with nuclear power, is in the actual game as a nuclear scientist.
One thing, a small rule? They're pretty intense about security down here. Who knew, right?
We'll give 5 points. Art style. It is nostalgic, yet not just a gimmick. It is beautiful and atmospheric, and the soundtrack is iconic. We'll give it 17 points. Polish and optimization, 19 points. It would be a clean 20 if not for a physics glitch that made dead enemies wobble. And the last pillar is replayability. You will think I'm contradicting myself, but it is actually pretty replayable. Picking it up again, it's easy. The getting to the end was the hardest part. And with almost 200 hours in this game, I think I can say this game deserves at least 13 points. Now we get the 5 scores, we add them to 64, which is the fun score. Now we divide the fun score by the game price, which is $33.99. Well, there will be cheaper methods to get the game, and not completely legal. We will use Steam as a reference. So, 64 divided by $33.99 will get us a long-ass number that we will round up to 188. And that gives us the ratio 188 fun points per dollar. Some of you would say, man, this is still a subjective result. And to that I say, add your own ratio and let me know in the comments. We can later add them to see the average audience ratio. Also, if you want to play the game yourself, leave a comment. The most liked comment 2 weeks from upload will get a free copy of the game from me. Ask Commander out.